Hello, beautiful Gemini, and welcome to December 2020 and to mirror season for Geminis. This is when, that's what I call it, that's my nickname for it. This is when the Sun and Venus as well this month and other energies are opposing you, right? So they're in the opposite end of the spectrum. And this helps you to assess life. Kind of assess your life, assess where you are with everything, and kind of look at everything from this different perspective. This is also an eclipse season, and in my notes I said this eclipse season is personal, which means that, this is going to feel more personal for you. This is going to feel a little bit more that has to do with you and your evolution as a person this eclipse season. Because we started with a full moon eclipse in your sign on November 30th. And now we will have our second eclipse on December 14th in your opposing sign of Sagittarius, in your relationships and the way you connect. So these eclipses are about your personal growth. They are about your personal transformation, evolution. And this is also just a time, the first half of December is really a time to assess how you have changed, how you have grown, who you have become. This is also, with these eclipses, for Geminis, this is going to be a time where certain projects or chapters have closed. And some of those projects and chapters may have been with you for several years, or just over the course of this year, or even just over the course of the last 6 months, depending on who you are. And there may be some of those that you feel a closeout with. And this is going to be a real time for you to notice what you see as closing and what you see as also opening. Eclipses aren't just about blotting out and destroying and leaving behind. It's also about what we want to say yes to. It's also about where we're finding ourselves evolving and growing into, and where we get surprised by our new yeses, by our new desires, right? And I think that's the most interesting part about eclipses, is they often reveal to us what we're really striving for in life. And because these eclipses are so personal to you, and they do have to do with your growth, and they do have to do also with how you philosophize about your life, how you see yourself in the world, how you see the world order. And refreshing that, kind of coming back to basics and noticing where, maybe you are buying into some of those narratives around the punishing father figure divine, or that's a common one. A lot of us have that. Or, where you're kind of feeling maybe a little cynical or a little worn out, a little wrung out. This is a great time during these eclipses to kind of come back to maybe some beliefs, some thoughts, some practices that bring you back into your full free-spirited Gemini power. The north node of the moon is in your sign for quite a while longer still, and is on your side, bringing you forward, bringing out your beautiful Gemini qualities. Now, we've been talking a lot about the first half of this month, but the second half of this month, let me tell you, we start with the new moon eclipse in Sagittarius on the 14th. Then very quickly things happen. Chiron goes direct in Aries, which is really powerful for forward motion. And then Jupiter and Saturn join forces and enter Aquarius, ninth house energy. And this is really to do with how you philosophize, right? So we're just going to get started on the Aquarian energy in December. It is a long road ahead. Jupiter will be in Aquarius for 13 months so pretty much all of 2021. And then Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for about 3 years. So we'll continue talking about Saturn and Jupiter over the months, and you'll be getting a better and better sense of it. The thing that's great about this, though, for you all, is that it trines you. It's another air sign. This is very good energy. The one thing I will say is this is all happening on the eclipse, basically. 10 of Wands, or on the solstice. So Saturn and Jupiter kind of trail into Aquarius, and they meet up on the solstice in Aquarius. And this is really a reset button. We are going to be just totally changing radio stations with this shift. And here's the thing I'll say about this. December is very forward focused. It's very curious about what is next, what is possible next. It may be the Lovers. Hey, Gemini, love it. It may be tempting to spend most of December looking back over your shoulder, and I think it's good to take stock and just give yourself some credit for how you've grown, especially you, Gemini, because these eclipses are so personal. But keep in mind that this is just we're just cracking open this new volume. It's a brand new book. You can hear the glue of the binding, cracking as we open it. And it's a lot of this month is going to be about allowing yourself to temper your way into this next energetic chapter, right? And so rather than feeling like you've got to get yourself all revved up and electrified and jump in and just be like, okay, it's a whole different world. It's okay to take your time and just kind of release a little bit, open up a little bit, release a little bit, open up a little bit, just throughout the month, kind of keep that maintenance up, and you will be able to ride through this month very well because it is powerful. And I'm saying this to everybody. 2 of Cups. Hey, Gemini. To be fair, the sun is in Sagittarius, Venus is in Sagittarius this month. These are very good for relationships. And not just love relationships. This is about intimate relationships that you feel connected to and feel are enriching to your life. So that can be work, that can be family, that can absolutely be love and partnership. 3 of Cups. That celebratory card has been coming up a lot. There are reasons to celebrate in life, right? Even when, the thing is, it's never the dichotomy of you're navigating something difficult or strenuous or that involves grief, or you're in celebration. I often find the mix of these two is so entwined. And when we are maybe in our most joyous and our most connected, this is also when we often are feeling our deeper emotions as well. As above, so below. Okay, so I'm loving the Gemini energy here. And it is very playful. It is very buoyant spirited. And why would I be surprised? I feel like Gemini, because you are mutable air, you're one of the signs that in many ways is going to handle this time of shift in the way that I think is healthy to do so, which is to just be curious. Just be curious about what's possible next. Be curious about what's bubbling up throughout December. Now, remember how I said eclipse season for you is personal, and it is a time where you are assessing projects that are coming to a close, possibly relationships, just anything, any aspect of life that you may notice like in the last 6 months have kind of come to completion that you feel at peace with. So notice those, especially during the first couple of weeks of this month. And just notice what's starting to feel heavy. 10 of Wands is about something coming to a close, something finishing out, something completing. And the more that you're okay, and it doesn't have to be everything. I always say, it's not always about burning our lives down. When I'm talking about something being completed or closing out or finding harmony and wholeness, it can sometimes be very subtle things that we realize we no longer have to do or need to do. And that's always a really empowering place. So it can range for you from very subtle shifts to possibly bigger things, bigger aspects of your life, bigger work projects, bigger relationships that have just completed. Now, the more you're okay with that shedding, the more that these energies are going to be showing up for you. And, these are cards that have to do with harmonious relationship. And what's funny about harmonious relationship? Maybe it's not funny. It's in the word harmonious, I suppose, but it's the ease. It's the ease. So often, we're looking for love and validation and joy in the difficulty, in the challenge, in the unclearness, in the amorphousness. We think that's where the good stuff is. That's where the good learning is. And these cards speak very specifically about a very specific type of relationship that has to do with respect and harmony, emotional overflow that you share with your partner, spaces where you feel comfortable, seen, relaxed. There's consistency here. There is respect and consistency. And the thing is that these are elements, these are ingredients that create some of the deepest passion, right? And even the word passion is actually problematic for me to use, because passion is tied to the meaning of suffering. Passion actually means to suffer, right? And we are so often searching for passion in life, right? Where we feel that like crush. And sometimes that can be a really powerful feeling, right? And it is good to have all those different contrasts in life. But I have to say the Lovers and Two of Cups is not speaking about passion, being crushed, being confused. So one thing I will say, it just is not just about relationships. This is about harmonious things that are working for you. And it doesn't need to be a list of 100 things. You only need 1, 2, 3 things that you notice. Ooh, when I tap into this, it is working. And it's important to distinguish, right? And that's always the trick of life, distinguishing between what's really nourishing us and what is not. Now, we also have this Three of Cups, which is denoting to me that there are things to celebrate. There are things to toast to in life. There are, there's communion going on here for Geminis. 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups. And I know this year is strange for communion. Many of us, while maybe we've had deeper conversations on the phone or we've come to have deeper gratitude for certain things, have also felt somewhat distanced sometimes from even our closest friends and family, because phone calls aren't the same as spending quality time in person, and because we have to think more about the ethics of meeting in groups and seeing people. There's all this complexity to communion that we haven't had to deal with before in our generation, in the people who are alive right now. So when I see these communion cards, I like that, because for me this feels as though despite all of that, there's something that's coming together. There's something that's really rich and supportive of you. I also, when I see these cards, what I see is that graduation energy, which comes, regularly in our lives when these energetic shifts happen, where it's like you've completed something. And when I'm thinking about Gemini, and I'm thinking about the Saturn and Jupiter transits that I'm going through Capricorn, these have been going through your 8th house of transformation. That is heavy hitting energy that is working at you from the bones up, from the bones out. And I love 8th house energy, but it is challenging, and it demands a lot of truth and authenticity from you. And it also demands, a huge amount of transformation. And there is something to celebrate in this energy moving into a more flowing energy with you in the 9th house of the big expansive vision. There is a graduation energetically happening for you that you may be noticing happening in real time. You may notice that you stop texting that one person back who's very flaky. You just decide that it's boring and you're over that. And suddenly, these other connections just come in so easily. It's these little adjustments you're going to be noticing all month. So it's a powerful December, and heavy hitting. And I think everybody's going to experience it differently. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, because the eclipses are so personal, because there are really big energetic shifts afoot all month. The whole month is just one big spiritual bath in a way. It's really like turning the dial. It's the best way I can. And there's sometimes you're gonna have some static, and sometimes you'll like land on a station, and then we're by the end of the month we're gonna have found a new station to listen to. So the affirmations that I have for you this month, I'm really excited to share. Here they are. I am open to seeing my life from new perspectives. I allow nourishing connections to deepen. I release my resistance to new energy coming in. I welcome beauty, ease, rest, play, and joy. And that's really where it's at, Gemini. And even these cards are telling me that. You might want to focus on all the complexity, right? On the complexity of the things you've gone through or the complex situations around you. But there is an invitation here to keep focusing on what's bringing you rest, ease, and joy. You're allowed to do that, by the way. Culture doesn't like it when we find places of rest, ease, and joy too often. You know, it's like, oh, it's Saturday, so you're allowed to look for rest, ease, and joy. But don't do it too often, because that's just selfish and it goes bad. And I think it's okay to keep noticing what brings you rest, ease, and joy. The other thing is that rest, ease, and joy doesn't mean that you don't ever have complicated emotions, right? It means that we let ourselves ease for me, and joy and rest means we're not constantly monitoring ourselves to be manically happy or to be in complex situations. We kind of soften into our emotional legacy, right? So that's important this month as well, because I think there will be some ups and downs. But you have really supportive energy here. If you're interested in getting some deeper support around Saturn and Jupiter, around the eclipse season, I'm going to be doing all those extras and giving some really great exercises and worksheets to work through this new shift and just learn how to be with Aquarian energy a little more. So if you're looking for support, I'd love to see you over on Patreon. I will leave the link below, as well as my Instagram and my website. You can find all of those goodies in the description box. And of course, I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. You can find her on Etsy. I'll leave her link below as well. I will see you all in January 2021. And also here on this channel, if you like and subscribe, you will see the Moon Magics, where we dive into these eclipses and have a lot of fun. I am sending you all my love. I will see you very soon, and have a beautiful December.